The word. I know, we're hoping to finish this soon. It's taken way longer than I thought it would. You think we're getting through it quicker than usual? Oh, you must do a lot of the classes where we interject with discussion and comments. Yeah, it takes way longer when we do those ones. Hold on. I was trying to play the music on this, but this thing is acting funny. Alrighty. It might be a little bit of rereading, so I'm just going to start here. Whole groups of people harden themselves. What's that? Is it going? Yeah, it's going. Hello. You're welcome. Thank you. Yeah, remember it was inimical? Yeah, that word. Inimical. Such a great word. Alright. Inimical to man both has individual and has community. Whole groups of people harden themselves and persist in a collective rejection of God. It is very difficult to stir an individual belonging to a closed group of this kind in such a way that God becomes a reality to him. One cannot produce the necessary shock either through human love or even by adjusting oneself to their situation and position in the community, for in all this the standards of value remain human. Being myself the father of a family, I am not insensitive to the sufferings of my neighbors, and as I might find myself in the same predicament, I stand up before the rights of the union, etc., etc. In the case of a collective rejection of God, only a convulsion which shakes the collective as a whole to its very foundations can produce a change. It was a nice day. Yeah, a little bit, but yeah, you know how that goes. Oh, wow. Yeah, I can hear it just fine. Alright, yeah, it seems to be working a little bit better now. Can you hear me okay? Oh, good. Alright, looks like it might be okay. 1 second. Right. Exactly, yes. Who am I talking to? Who are you listening to? I love it when they ask that question. It's so funny. Yeah, it gets old, doesn't it? Especially considering literally allegedly yeah, it's really on the cusp, but it seems to be a little more weaker at the moment. Could just be passing clouds too.
his pipe burst. But Moses was amazing as usual. I felt really comfortable in that moment. Christine was there for me. I'm in very good hands with Allstate.
Yeah, right? Yeah, I hope so. Yeah, that would be cool. Oh yeah, that's okay. Don't you worry about it. We're used to that. Oh my gosh. Criticize nonstop. I mean, if you listen to that, that's all you're going to hear. Yeah, people love to do that. It seems to be a business. Yeah, I wouldn't even listen. My goodness. I know it's hard sometimes to not hear a few chirps through the airwaves and stuff. You kind of get an idea and the logistics. Yeah. Holy smokes. Alright, anyways, whole groups of people harden themselves and persist in a collective rejection of God. It is the truth. Yeah, it is very difficult to stir an individual belonging to a closed group of this kind. And yeah, anything, reality, the truth, who you are. You're a human being. It is very difficult to stir an individual belonging to a closed group of this kind in such a way that God becomes a reality to him. One cannot produce the necessary shock either through human love or even by adjusting oneself to their situation and position in the community, for in all this the standards of value remain human. Being myself the father of a family, I am not insensitive to the sufferings of my neighbors, and as I might find myself in the same predicament, I stand up for the rights of the union, etc., etc. In the case, what's that? Deja vu? Yeah, we did just read that, you're right. Oh, thank you for letting me know. So someone's letting me in on some of the chitter chatter. Yeah, we're not looking for anyone's acceptance. We don't have to prove anything. The facts are the facts. It's just a matter of people accepting those facts, acknowledging them, and reporting those facts for the sake of humanity and the children, hostages, basic education. And we have a huge problem if you haven't noticed. You know there are 100,000 public schools in America? That's a lot of pupils, huh? It's amazing. It seems to be not on the conversation board for a lot of people. Yeah, don't even go into those murky waters. Talking about, people. Yeah, all those customers. Where do you think you get all your clicks from? You know, YouTube's free for most people. It comes on a lot of devices. Facebook too, yeah. It seems to be certain ones come free with a lot of the devices, yeah? Right, which is really cool because you can use that to a purposeful advantage, right? A lot of people make a living, sell stuff, promote good information. Yeah, for a lot of people, some use it as a tool, a communication tool to try to reach people. Yeah, have you noticed there's a lot of horrible things happening in the world? Yeah, horrible child and animal pornography, targeting of innocent people. Yeah, it's actually psychotic, and people have been concerned about this for many years. In fact, the private investigator in 2009, when he brought up the Mayan trafficking line, and the psychos and activists and druggies and people gaslit the shit out of him, saying he was talking about Mayan curses and in a psychosis. And then they did the same thing to me for talking about the vaccines. And when you see what happened with my children, it would have been crazy for me not to be talking about that, right? And then when we have doctors and good people in the healthcare system coming up to us, freaking out, literally throwing themselves on the ground, crying, you gotta stop this. Vitamin K shots, hepatitis shots, like what do you want us to do? Yeah, us losers, potheads living with our parents, what would you like us to do about that? Right. Yeah, when you look at that time frame, and the apartments we had stayed in Waterville from 2008 to 2009, Fred Wheeler, yeah, up in Waterville, Silver and Gold Street, yes. Yeah, that's what we were there when Michael Jackson passed away. I'll never forget it. I was so sad when that happened. That was horrible what they did to him. I know, it's amazing how those kind of, it's almost like a business model that you see within these networks of good people, you know, fundraisers, marketers. A lot of them are just good people. They have nowhere to go. They're on the run. They have warrants. It's hard to get a job. Yep, convicted felons. I mean, a whole host of people. And over the years, a lot of them have, you know, gained quite a bit of money through the guise of people with a clean record. That's how it works. Okay. So anyways, we could really care less about you fucktards and all your bullshit and your fucking drugs and your nasty fucking dogs. Yeah, so hopefully the proper authorities do what they're supposed to do to help these children, because the people around here have been caught up in their fucking bullshit and the hazing and their drugs, the activist bullshit, and they don't seem to want to acknowledge the targeting of innocent people and what's been going on with the vaccines and the overprescribing of SSRIs. In fact, they fucking promote them. And it makes us want to fucking shake with rage and anger what they've been doing to our children. And how they fucking ignore it and antagonize and use our children as fucking pawns and continue to neglect and abuse them is fucking disgusting. And how people allow it to be done right in front of us is even more disgusting. Yeah, and then when they say we need to be locked up or medicated for being angry about that, we can't control our anger, we should be fucking angry. That'd be inhumane and zombie-like. Oh, I'm so sorry, maybe we should medicate ourselves so we don't respond to reality as we should. You fucking nasty people. So hopefully the proper authorities do what they're supposed to do. Yeah, right? What is... Yeah, it gets really fucking old, doesn't it? Unfucking believable. It really is. Really, really is. So anyways, yeah, I'm sorry you had to hear that. Yeah, you know, the dead mother in me just comes out sometimes. Right, as a human being here on earth, I'm learning. Yeah, we just turn our heads to abuse and children being fucked and tortured so it doesn't ruin your reputation or expose your fucking drug trafficking. It's fucking gross. You people are nasty. I know. And the brothels and interviews and the funding systems for books and interviews. It gets so fucking gross. Nasty fucking people. What can you do? So hopefully people start just getting real and reporting the facts. And hopefully that continues to expose these networks for what they really are. And people pull their heads out of their asses, because many are so focused on the drama and the mockery. It's so gross. It's so fucking gross and sad to a lot of us when you see the young children, literally toddlers and young fucking babies, being killed and fucked and tortured by these punk ass bitches that you want to protect. Sick. Fucking sick. Gross fucking people, dude. It's not even funny. Anyways, one cannot produce the necessary shock either through human love or even by adjusting oneself to their situation and position in the community. For in all this, the standards of value remain human. Being myself the father of a family, I am not insensitive to the sufferings of my neighbors, and as I might find myself in the same predicament, I stand up for the rights of the union, etc., etc. In the case of a collective rejection of God, only a convulsion which shakes the collective as a whole to its very foundations can produce a change, for it is only a great common need or catastrophe that changes social love, at bottom egotistic, into a selfless love of one's neighbor, then simultaneously the way is opened to the reception of God. But this world, the world which does not know the Lord and so rejects him, which rejects him and so does not know him, is his own. It is his own because he created it. It is also his because it was given him by the Father, a strange gift, which does not want to know or hear about him, and is in deadly opposition to him. He is given the unconverted world, an impossible world which simply cannot be enjoyed. The Father gives the Son the vineyard and sends him to the vineyard where the laborers think only of putting him to death. And by making him that gift, he hands him over to his enemies. That is the world that will know nothing of him, and which the Son is to transform into a world which is really and inwardly his own. What he brings back to the Father is a world no longer without access to God, in which there is a mustard seed of hope that God may be received, into which God from now on can penetrate, transforming it into his own. The world, since the crucifixion is not the same as the word before the crucifixion. His own, to whom he came, are those who ought to believe but do not. An indeterminate, ever-changing notion, and therefore a mysterious one, simultaneously closed and opened, a limited cycle, and at the same time, a circle capable of unlimited expansion. In the first instance, his own, our limited circle, for the Lord came as a man into the world, came to a particular people at a particular time with a particular human mission corresponding to a particular circle of people, those who are addressed and touched by that mission. He comes as man and meets certain definite men. He comes with the human hope that these men whom he meets in deed and in word, to whom he proclaims the Father's message, for whom and among whom he works miracles, will receive him as his own. Without that hope he would not have been man, and as man he believes that the effect produced on those whom he has moved will spread abroad to others living farther away and in other times. Every human mission has its limit, its particular aspect. The parish priest's mission corresponds to his parish, that of an apostle to the community of individuals specially addressed by the apostle's particular chapter, manner, and graces. Paul has his, so has Peter, and so has James, each allotted to them by God, corresponding to their office and the mission delivered to them. Cheers. It is a mixture of the Celsius powder and the mixed greens. Yes, I love that stuff. Oh, I lost my spot. Paul has his own and has Peter, and so has James, has allotted to them by God corresponding to their office and the mission delivered to them. The Lord, too, has his own particular circle and speaks occasionally of it, though it is plain that in his case, and through him, of course, the same is true of the apostles, the missionaries, the faithful. The limited circle opens out to the unlimited. And sometimes they don't know who they are sometimes, and then it dawns on them. Sounds like the CIA. What? Ultimately, his own are all men. Certain sectors. What? Ultimately, his own. Ultimately, his own. I'm not doing that again. Ultimately, you can almost see it happening, and ultimately, his own are all men, for all belong to him, and all ought to reach faith through him. He is to die and rise again for all. The Father did not give him part of the world, but the whole world. Also, so the circle of his own widens out to embrace the whole circle, the whole world, and he there sends his own out to the farthermost parts of the world. The limited circle to whom he is sent, and to whom he sees, and to whom he sends his disciples in the first instance, is simply the human point of contact necessary for an infinite movement in order that the notion of his own should not remain vague, colorless, and abstract, so that we should see by example what it means to be spoken to and claimed by him. The movement without end has a starting point and a definite limited circle. The relations within the limited circle are visible and human, and all the ordinary rules which govern spiritual relations, human confidence, friendship, and affection play their part. But as the circle expands, these visible and human traits disappear. The relation between the representative of God and his own does not disappear. On the contrary, the more formless the human relationship becomes, the less easy it is to grasp as a whole, the more precise it may become as a divine relationship. Not even an apostle can tell where the effect of his mission ends. The circle of those he draws into the invisible kingdom of grace, and who are known to God alone here below, is just as real as the visible human effect he produces. And finally, his own are all those to whom the Lord has given something. They are his through his grace, and through it they are stamped with the seal which marks them as his own. That does not exclude the possibility that they are at the same time those who have not received him. The Father gave them to him even before they had made the decision to receive him or not to receive him. And because the Father gave them to him, the Lord takes them as his own into his possession. Some of them know that they are his. Others do not bother about it. Others do not even know it and reject him. The truth? Sure. Yeah, the law, the president. Right, so someone's using an example, you can downscale it or upscale it. Police officers, so we have retired police officers that say they would see that all the time in people. We were just watching this the other day, yeah, and I'll go with them, but not them, right? That police officer can buckle me in, but not them, right? Or whatever it is. No, you don't touch me. They can touch me. Yeah, literally, you saw this, right? Yeah, you do. You see it quite often, actually. Right, and it's just retarded, because, either one of them, right? Why do you feel as though one or the other? You feel more comfortable. Right, and this could just be some, have that, right, whether it's male or female. And then this gets applied to positions, right, of authority, or like teachers, law enforcement, doctors. Some might prefer a woman doctor over a male doctor, or some might be the opposite. I've heard that before, and some women find it strange that a woman would feel more comfortable with a male doctor, and some women feel it strange the other way around, right? Yeah, so to each their own. That's why there are a lot of gay doctors. Probably. I'm sorry, that was kind of funny. You feel gay some days? Me too. And finally, his own are all those, what are you even talking about? I don't even know where that drifted off to. And finally, his...
That's why USA has continued to grow for over 100 years to provide the military community with exceptional insurance and banking options. Because in USA, we take care of our own.
We are farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
Than a fighter. I'm in Oxford now. Here's my hat. Curious why I'm being set up.
My baloney has a first name. It's OSCAR. My baloney has a second name. It's MAYER, Big Crow. I love to eat it every day. And if you ask me why, I'll say, 'cause Oscar Mayer has a way with BOLOGNA. I know it's so not true, but yet we had that jingle stuck in our head. Bow, bow. What verse was that? Caramello? Was it Rollers? Oh my goodness. That does not exclude the possibility that they are at the same time those who have not received him. The Father gave them to him even before they had made the decision to receive him or not receive him, and because the Father gave them to him, the Lord takes them as his own into his possession. Some of them know that they are his. Others do not bother about it. Others do not even know it and reject him. They all carry the Father's gift through life, though many are ignorant of what they have in their pack. The Father gives them to the Son without reference to their decision in the matter, and with the single thought that the Son's love for his own will be stronger than their rejection of him, greater than the whole tragedy and fiasco of the rejected of the Word, and fiasco of the rejected of the Word. Men always imagine that they belong to God on the bias of their consent, but only may belong to the Lord on other grounds, because of the redemption and without knowing it. Few of those who stood round the cross were aware that they were his own. The majority rejected him, and yet they were already touched by him, and belonged to him as his own. That does not alter the fact that one must receive the redemption and fulfill the will of God. But the important thing is to be possessed by the Lord, and that happened while we were still sinners, for he chose us, not we him. The word received. But to all those who received him, to them he gave the power to become sons of God, to those who believed in his name. So speaking of power, yeah, someone was taking it that route with what we were just reading. Yeah, they were rejecting, so say the truth or what it is. Yeah, you can use a lot of examples. Right, so say you have been eating certain breads. Certain businesses have been feeding your community, giving them work, right? And then all of a sudden, you realize that all those things are being supported by someone you don't like. Well, then I don't need that. Well, I'll live off the grid. Well, yeah, but I mean, to do that, I mean, you still need resources that all come from somewhere, right? And you could take this many routes. Well, then we'll starve before. Yeah, exactly. Right, and then you go into sacrifice. Well, if we have to sacrifice this for that, then we'll go without that. Alright, so you come over here, and then you're going to suffer over here. And we're going to make a stage so people can see you suffer. So they'll know, right, to abide by certain standards or whatever. They don't want to wind up like that. Look at them. Yeah, hang them high, right? Used to do that right in front of people. Okay, townsfolk, put on your calendar. Right, I mean, people usually just knew, high noon. Have you ever seen Hang 'em High? It's an old Clint Eastwood movie. I haven't seen that in a long time. Yeah, no, I was probably like 7 or 8 years old watching that. It's been a long time since I've seen that, but I remember it well. We saw it enough times. Oh yeah, and Zulu. A lot of boxing, yeah. So a lot of other stuff too. Yeah, we had quite a variety. Yeah, I mean, one day we'd be at a bonfire out in Whitefield, drinking beer, shooting the shit. I mean, within hours, right? You're here in town in Augusta going to the Calumet Club. We're going to go to the Bastille. Oh, we're having a parade. Okay, a parade. Yeah. Here come the cloggers. I loved those cloggers. That was my favorite part of the whole show, was those cloggers. Those are my favorite. And they have buckets of beer. You bought beer by the bucket there. It's funny. Right, I mean, there's a bunch of different things. You had 4-H club. Sometimes we'd go to Sunday school. We had St. Denis right there. We'd ride our bikes up that way sometimes. Go to the spring. I hope so. Yeah, let us know if you have any other questions, comments, concerns, suggestions as to how we can help our children without breaking the law. That would be wonderful, because I know the best of the best seem to not have any suggestions and are trying to figure out why a lot of the people around us have been going along with and ignoring a lot of the things they have been. And then when we explain that to them, it's just like, oh, well, we can't arrest them, but we can shame them, right? I know, poor kids. Yeah, no, the facts are the facts. It's not a fucking joke. Hopefully. All right, we'll see you in a little bit. Yeah, let us know. You're welcome. What's that? That piece to you? Mine is It Takes Two. It takes two, baby. You know, positive, negative. It's a science joke. Okay. Anyways, much love, health, and peace, everybody.